Happy Flurry Thursday to everybody. Welcome in to the PHLY Phillies podcast. It's a little snow flurry outside this morning here in the Delaware Valley. Welcome in to everybody as the winter meetings are wrapping up. We have some Bryce Harper news to get into, an international signing the Phillies made, and, you know, all the hot stove talk going on around Major League Baseball, including, much to Bree, our producer's delight, the Yankees becoming the Death Star again. So we will get into all of it this morning. But as right before we started the show, we were finding out that Renee actually has an emo music phase in her life, as her and Tyler were going back and forth on bands. And it turns out, Renee, you're a big emo head, and you didn't even know it.
Listen, I'm a music person. If anybody has not figured that out by now, I don't have any specifics that I dislike, as long as I can sing to it, dance to it, hear the words. I was talking to Tyler, like, that's my limit. I need to hear words. I don't want to just have screaming. I'm not a fan of that. But if it's some good beats and stuff, like, I can rock with it. So I didn't realize that I was rock and emo. I did go to a private school where there were like no black people and there was a lot of white people, and so I feel like they really helped pull me into that. Yeah, like high school was the classic. Yeah,
your music was formed big time in high school. Oh yeah. So it turns out you were throwing bands at Tyler that you liked, and Tyler, our resident metalhead, I guess, was going into the sub classifications of each, and some was dad rock, some was emo rock, some was punk rock,
like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so Tyler's your.
I never dressed emo. If you haven't caught on by now, I like a lot of color in my outfit. So that's probably why I didn't realize I was a little bit emo, because I was never fully.
I'm
like
a big earth color guy. So what does that make me?
Earthy. I don't know.
I'm not very granola.
I don't know. Grounded, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I did that. Earth tone's grounded. But so it's great because it's definitely, you learn something new every day, even about yourself. Didn't even realize that. But we were going down a rabbit hole, and it had me excited thinking about like that era of music, of rock, of like Paramore, Nickelback, Panic at the Disco, Linkin Park. I was all in. On that. So we're going to have some music conversations at another point.
Yeah, well, apparently Renee, the emo head, and it's been an emotional week down in Nashville. We'll get to everything Phillies first, and then dive into the MLB kind of hot stove and everything going on there, and then we'll get to Guess That Ballpark. And speaking of music, a very weird, I guess MLB is kind of going for their target demo with a concert series that was announced, but we'll get into all that today. But let us start. Unfortunately, we've kind of talked about this at length at least twice before, that we kind of thought this was coming. And yesterday at the winter meetings, obviously, don't worry, we're going to get into Juan Soto. That's the big news of the day. Yeah. But we're going to start with the Phillies, and Scott Boras, super agent, bloodsucker, shark in the water, has basically disagreed with Bryce Harper's contract that he signed here from the start.
Correct.
Bryce's comments were that he wanted to come here, win over the fans, allow the team to spend more money and become a contender and do all the right things, and very admirable. But it's clear they could have probably gotten more money per year. When John Middleton is even saying, like, oh, man, you're a bargain. We underpaid you. I think he's Tyler, something roughly around like 26th or 27th in baseball?
21st, I believe.
21st in baseball, an annual average salary. And that'll probably drop a couple more spots after Yamamoto signs, after Snell signs, after Bellinger signs potentially. So he could be around the 25th highest paid player in baseball on a per year average. And Scott Boras yesterday said, we're going to want an extension out of you. Yeah. And we're probably going to want to restructure this. I meant to look this up last night when I was doing my show notes, and I think I ADD'd out and forgot. I don't recall this really happening in baseball much. This is kind of uncharted territory.
I was going to say, I feel like it's a sign of the change of the times. Because first of all, the fact that we know yesterday's price is not today's price. And when Bryce signed in February 2019, that $330 million deal was the largest. I remember it breaking the sports world, honestly. And everybody's like, wow, the largest in Major League history. And then, you had Mike Trout a few weeks later who broke that number. And ever since then, it's just been continuously getting more and more millions, and the numbers are going up, more zeros on things. But when you look at the fact that Bryce Harper at this point is openly talking about what Scott Boras openly talking about, restructuring a deal, you see it happening in other sports. You definitely see, look at someone like Patrick Mahomes. Like, you see it happening in other leagues, but in baseball, it's kind of new.
Well, it's uncharted territory because it's an uncapped league. So, like, kind of the quarterback market, when you bring the Mahomes comparison in, like, sets itself every year. Right. And baseball's just like, the Wild West. You can pay somebody, basically whatever you want. And Bryce Harper, undoubtedly took a good deal. I'm conflicted on this because part of me goes, Bryce Harper is essential to the ecosystem of the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah. Keep him happy, invested, give him what he wants. On the other end, it's kind of a slippery slope then with other players and other contracts. And also, like, you signed a contract. Like, there is something to that. Obviously, you don't want to offend him and, like, rub him the wrong way. But at the same time, like, you signed this contract because you wanted the Phillies to contend. We're talking about an extension 8 years from now? Yeah. Like, what the hell is this? Like, if I had to guess, Bryce Harper doesn't really want to be doing this. This is all Scott Boras being like, dude, you have to do this. And maybe he feels some union pressure. I don't understand it. Yeah. Because I find it very odd. Because it's not like he's hurting. It's not. So like you're
feeling torn, like as if we should be having this conversation. Like, you signed the contract, just
like on the one hand, I'm like, make the man happy, do whatever you want. On the other hand, I'm like, you just signed a contract 3 years ago. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Okay. It's not like he's that underpaid that it's like offensive. Like, he still makes $25 million a year.
I think what makes it offensive is we talk about as his number continues to drop in comparison to what other guys are making. That's where it is offensive in that sense, because Bryce Harper deserves more. I think the hard part is, you look at stock for players will go down, but stock can also go up. And for Bryce Harper to have 8 years remaining, $196 million on his deal, the stock has gone up for Bryce Harper. And I love that Scott Boras was talking about, like, he came here for the fans. He wanted to help recruit. He wanted to help, he wants to be in Philadelphia for the rest of his career. So he's on that side, it's very evident. This is not about, if you don't make this deal happen or change my contract up, I'm out. But it's also like, hey, I'm locked in to be here. I'm invested in the Phillies. I'm invested in helping to bring in, and helping to recruit and helping to make sure the club is growing and moving in the right direction to win titles. So now I want you to invest back into me. So for that reason, I actually understand Bryce Harper. Listen, yesterday's price is not today's price. And when your value and your worth goes up and you realize that, you absolutely should go back and advocate for yourself. It's like if we work in a job, if we're here at PHLY for the next 10 years, or 8 years, I'll keep it the same as Bryce's. Next 8 years, would you be open to going back if all right, PHLY Phillies blows up and we're, whatever. Now going back and say, hey, this is what I brought to the table and I would like to reconfigure my contract.
Yeah, it becomes, I probably wouldn't have signed an 11-year contract if I wanted to bet on myself. Like, part of the trade-off was like, yeah, we'll give you the 11 years, but we want to keep the number a little lower so we can contend and compete. That was the trade-off. Like, 11-year deals, I don't know. I don't want to say he made them the norm, but like, because, A-Rod and those deals existed before, but like, he kind of like repopularized it in a way. And now Trey Turner follows up with one and other people around baseball. Now even Yamamoto might get one. So, I'm torn.
I'm gonna pose this question at you because I think it is very much led by Scott Boras. I agree, because he's completely said, he didn't follow my advice from the beginning. They kind of disagreed on what Bryce signed to. And so now he's pushing to go back and change things. If this was not 8 years remaining, if this is less years, do you think this is even something that we're talking about? If it's 3-4 years, for example, left versus 8 years, do you think it's that number 8 that is the reason why? Because that's a long time. You're talking about Bryce now being later in his career, being in what is he now? He's 31, so being closer to 40 years old. Like,
so I think it's because baseball's guaranteed money. I think they're just viewing it as a way to tackle on more money now while he's in his prime. I'd rather give him $5 million more a year now than commit to something when he's 41. What is it, 41 he's going to be? Something like that?
Yeah, well, he's 31 now.
So 8 years left. So he's going to be 39. I'd rather commit to more annually now than 8 years from now when he's 39, 40, 41.
Yeah.
Tack on those 3 extra years because, you know, it's he's going to a position of less wear and tear. But, like, you know, like who the hell knows what Bryce Harper is going to be at age 39, 40. He'll still probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just pay him more now than commit to the long term.
Okay.
Like when there's 2 years remaining, if he's still performing at an exceptional level, then I say, hey, Bryce, I got you. Like, 3-4 more years, no problem. Don't worry about it. But like right now, just pay the man more now.
Yeah, I know Jeff is saying give him whatever he wants. King Crab, Spiral Out, Hypothetical Man, Dave, John, you're all dropping in the chat your thoughts as well.
It's an interesting dilemma.
It is a very interesting situation because it is something that, it leaves you scratching your head a little bit. I know he's talking about an extension. So, yeah, 39, he'll be at the end of his 8 years. If it is an extension, now you are drifting into your 40s. But we also know Bryce has said he wants to play until he's 43, 44 years old. So his expectations are that he's going to have over a decade left in the majors. And I don't know. I think for me, it goes back to, and John, no, you will not. John, you will be here for 10 years. You need to care about 2034. You will also be here as well, thriving and rocking out to good music.
Rock in the universe takes out the whole earth. Yeah, I think we'll be here.
I hope so. At one point, it was 2012. And another point, we always hear the rumors about when the world's coming to an end. So we'll all be here hopefully in 2034, knock on wood. But anyways, I think for me, the 8 years is what also makes this worth having a conversation about, because I know what you're saying, Jamie. The long-term deal allowed for them to pay Bryce more money. That $330 million deal becomes a lot easier in that sense if you're playing it out over the course of so many years. But with 8 years left and what he's accomplished so far in his start with the Phillies, he has shown, okay, I've gotten the team, helped get the team to the World Series. I've gotten the team to the NLCS. I've been able to help bring in and be a part of, the reason why guys like Trey Turner want to be in Philly. So for Bryce Harper, without a doubt, his stock has gone up. And so I think if this was 3 years we're talking about left on his deal, I don't think that Scott Boras and Bryce Harper are pushing as hard. But I feel like because it is 8 years, which is a very long time, and a lot can change in that time, that they're pushing, okay, let's have a conversation, whether it's an extension or more money, that something has to change because yesterday's price, not today's price. I'm going to keep saying that because that's absolutely the case for Bryce Harper. So it's something to keep an eye on, but I'm actually team Bryce. I don't think it is all on Scott Boras. I do feel like if I would say a percentage, it's like 60, well, maybe like 70-30 or something like that. But I do feel like Bryce Harper, this is why you have Scott Boras. So you don't have to be the one awkwardly talking about money. Nobody, at least I don't like money talks. Leave that to somebody else. So now Scott can look like the bad guy. Bryce can look like the team first guy. And at the end of the day, you're both getting what you're hoping you want in having a conversation about the contract.
Yeah, I think this is all Boras being a blood-sucking shark in the water. And he knows that the Phillies are basically in their championship now window, and he's gonna get, blood out of a stone.
It's a negotiation tool. It makes sense to me, though.
Then don't sign the contract.
You're reading the room. You know this is a win now team. They're not looking to bring in, as we've been following.
Sure, if I'm Bryce, that's great.
I also think around winter meetings, it just helps your cause even more. Look, Dave Dombrowski, and they've said, we're not even looking to go after, Shohei Ohtani or Hader or Yamamoto or whoever else is a big name on the market because we trust our guys. We believe in our guys. So here comes Scott. Oh, you believe in us. Well, believe in us so much to the tune of, let's tweak that contract.
Yeah, but like there's something to a contract, especially when you're highly paid, so like, I don't know. I think this is all Boras.
Piece of paper with some legal terms and jargon that you signed.
Yeah, and it also set his great-grandchildren up for life. So, like, I don't know. Like, at one hand, just give Bryce whatever he wants. On the other hand, you signed a contract, man. Like, I understand. Spiral Out in the chat, and shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you're hitting that like button while you're in here. Spiral Out in the chat makes a good point. Bryce Harper undoubtedly is one of the top 5 faces of baseball. You could even make the case is the most popular face of baseball. The man was on the All-Star flags when he wasn't even in the All-Star game a couple years ago. Spiral Out said he only makes $6.1 million in endorsements. Ohtani is an extreme example because of the international pool, but he makes upwards of 30 plus. So if I'm Bryce, hey, Scott, go get me some endorsement money. What the hell are you doing? You dragging your feet over here.
Yeah.
You know, there's other ways to make money. Like, I don't know. Just, I hate talking about like people that have generational wealth crying for more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just hard for me as an everyday guy to be like sympathetic towards that.
We had these same problems too, Jamie. Don't we? Of like,
like he's obviously
8 years, $196 million that we're gonna make. Yeah. Oh man, like
you can obviously make
tough.
the case that he's worth $40 million a year or $35 million a year without much of a bending your back over to make that case. But like at the same time, I'm like, dude, come on. You're 5 years into a deal and we're already talking about 8 years down the line from now. Like, come on. So I just find the whole thing weird.
I'm gonna take your thoughts and raise it one more level, because I know we're talking a lot about Scott Boras, and Spiral is saying Scott Boras' net worth $450 million. You know, the poor fella definitely needs more.
Yeah,
oh,
like,
so
come
sad.
on, Scott.
But I am gonna raise you, because we know it is a business. And if Scott Boras has, let's just take Bryce Harper and the Phillies out of it specifically. There's a lot to this for Scott Boras. If you had the ability to say, hey, look at what I did for Bryce Harper and the Phillies, to now be able to, he already has a ridiculous talented roster of players that he represents. But now you really are cementing yourself as like the go-to even more if you're able to do something that we don't see happen in baseball. Now you go back and you can change whatever way Bryce Harper's contract is extended, or change more money is added on, whatever. If Scott Boras can pull that off from a business move as an agent to ching, 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 you're getting a lot of big name players that are reaching out to Scott Boras. So he's not just thinking about his client, Bryce Harper. He's thinking about, okay, this is some great opportunity for me to show my value for future clients, that you're coming this way.
He's already at the top in the game.
He is, but I mean,
But now, like,
does that mean
so Juan Soto is going to sign.
Enough?
Juan Soto is going to sign a deal, maybe now, maybe soon with the Yankees, and then what? In 3 years, he's going to want to renegotiate again. Like, it's just ridiculous. We're talking about an uncapped sport where money is endless. Just get yours at the time you sign the contract.
Which is why Scott Boras specifically is hungry to continue. He is at the top, but if you're able to do this, first of all, it's more money in your own pocket, obviously.
Oh, poor
and now
Scott.
You're able to, continue to bring in others. It's all business. It's all business at the end of the day. And it's going to be a change. If this happens, we are going to see this potentially again in the future, or at least guys just being smarter about how their contracts are.
Well, then sign shorter deals for more annual money.
Right.
Like, you can't have it both ways, because the Phillies are, I've seen complaining online like, oh, the Phillies come up short and they're not doing anything. They've spent the most money they've ever spent. Like, and that was part of Bryce's like pitch here, was like, I want the guys to contend. I want to win a World Series. I want to do this. Like, there's not much more money to go around. Like, yes, would I want John Middleton and the owners to spend $350 million? Sure, that'd be awesome. But there's this thing called reality we live in, where they're already at $236 million. It's the highest they've ever gone. They've gone up each of the last 2 years. They've gotten big names. They've been aggressive. They've made their moves. They're kind of maxed out in a way. So, like, if I'm Bryce, I would feel uncomfortable knowing how much money I have, going, hey, John Middleton, I'm going to need a little more out of you. Like, there is a degree of, like, the team is in uncharted territory.
Correct.
Like, I don't know. It like, the more and more I talk about it, the more I dislike it. Like, I get it. I totally understand it. I'm not naive to business and worth and value and all of that. But at the same time, like, John Middleton and the owners are trying everything they can to win now, and you're gonna try and take more. Like, it's a tough one, but the more and more we talk, I kind of hate it.
I mean, it is a sign of a change of the times, of the fact that, let's be honest, things are moving in a different direction, and it's a situation where for Bryce and Scott, that wasn't. Did you not? Bryce and Scott. Bryce and Scott sounds like Bryce and Scott.
Bryce,
Bryce and Scott. I'm sorry, guys.
Renee was really proud.
Oh my God, that's so cool. For Bryce and Scott, this is a chance that worst that happens is you get rejected. It's a no, and you just still have the same deal.
But by starting that conversation, if the Phillies are like, nah, we're actually good, like, just play out your 8 years, fuck you, in other words, then that starts an unhappiness with the player. So it's just like this
It
whole
could.
like Pandora's box
which is
you're
why
opening.
they might be willing to or are open to conversations because of that exact fact. You want to make sure you're keeping Bryce happy.
But then every other player after him is going to go,
like
oh,
whining.
wait, that 11-year contract I signed? Yeah, that's not real. Pay me more.
Bryce did it. I can do it too.
Yeah, like it's just, I don't know. I hate crying over it. I hate millionaires like, and not just like a millionaire, like a $350 millionaire being like, hey, give me more. And like, I get it, but I hate it. Is that fair?
It is, but it's not because just because they're millionaires doesn't mean they can't complain about money, guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
just because they can buy whatever they want to buy doesn't mean they still can't complain about how much money they make. When we become millionaires, Jamie, and people are trying to tell us not to complain about it, best believe we will be complaining.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, Dave P says the Warriors have a payroll of $400 million. And you know the thing the Warriors do that has cultivated their system? They teach their players about tech stock and companies and investments.
Smart.
And it's part of why Andre Iguodala and Kevin Durant with the Union, like all these guys started broadening their portfolios and getting into the tech and sports and finance world. Maybe John Middleton can take Bryce under his wing and show him how to invest some of that money and make even more money.
Well,
like,
I know
you
that
know
was,
what I mean? Like there's outside the
mentioned-
box ways to do this.
That was mentioned in the chat as well about, at the end of the day, if there's potential, if they want more, if someone like Bryce comes you wanting more money, you can also talk through endorsements or maybe it's come back at them with, hey, you know what? We can't make this happen right now, but we can have a conversation about getting you some more endorsements or having you invest in whatever other ways to help make more money. So there's always options, but I think that would be smart too. You just want to keep them happy. I think they want to see their overall net worth and, annual income increasing. And that doesn't have to directly come from the Phillies pockets. So other ways to do it.
And let me just address one of the commenters. Cool to be me. What am I bitching about? Yes, I don't want to commit money to Bryce Harper at age 39, 40, and 41 right now when I don't have to because you don't know what that player is going to be. And the Phillies' history is shitty. Okay, good little pocket. Shitty. Oh, good little pocket. Shitty. And like, there's small there's small glimpses of prosperity and there's small windows. So like, I don't know. I'm just trying to look ahead 8-9 years from now. Is Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter the face of the franchise? Like, financial, do you really want to commit another? Because if he's looking for, say, 3 to 4 years on the back end of his deal, let's just assume he's looking for 20 to 25 million per year. Do you really want to commit to 4 years of age 41, 42 Bryce Harper for another $100 million? Like, I don't know. That just doesn't sit well with me. Why don't we take these 8 years and see how he progresses and grows as an older player?
Yeah.
It's just too far away for me to be like, give him more. Like, I'd rather just give him 5 more a year now and bring him up to 30 and deal with it in the short term. That's my point. Cool to be me.
Okay.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah, I get that. That's valid. That's very valid.
Just pay $5 million more a year and everybody's happy.
Exactly. I know. I see Blue City Empire Sports. Welcome, I guess. You're ready to talk Yankees, I'm sure.
Oh, man. We got Yankees people in here with the Juan Soto picture.
I'm sure. Do what the Yankees do, he's saying, or she. They're saying, and spend money. Yeah, you could do that too, I guess. Speaking of spending money, interesting enough to see how Baltimore decided to spend money on Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, old friend Craig, have fun. He got a raise.
It was great to see when all the posts were going out from the Phillies, like, thank you, Craig. The comments were completely hilarious, disrespectful for most, but pretty entertaining. If you want to get a good laugh, go look at some of those comments of what people were saying and their goodbyes to Craig Kimbrell. But it's something that, we've all talked about Craig Kimbrell not coming back to the Phillies. And back in November, during the start of the GM meetings in Arizona, that's when we started hearing the Orioles having conversation with David Meter, who's the agent for Craig Kimbrell. And then a month later, the deal finally gets done. And with that, Craig Kimbrell signs that 1-year deal. Now, the 1-year deal is pretty interesting. So he will earn $12 million in 2024. This is what Mark Feisen was reporting, with the option in 2025 worth a $13 million or $1 million buyout. And that makes Craig Kimbrell set to become the highest paid Orioles player ever since
wild.
since their GM came in, I should say, prior to the 2019 season. That mark previously belonged to Kyle Gibson, who earned $10 million in 23. And then with Craig Kimbrell's deal, it guarantees him at least $13 million, which is also the largest free agent contract finalized by any Major League Baseball team during this year's winter meeting.
That's wild.
For Craig Kimbrell, guys.
How do you fail upwards into an extra $3 million after his August and September performance? Like, I understand the Orioles are desperate for bullpen arms, but geez, guys. A raise of $3 million?
A raise.
Well, I think
he got a raise.
For him, the one thing that the Orioles will have that the Phillies didn't have is he doesn't need to be a closer. Felix Bautista.
But they said he's going to be a closer.
Bautista is expected to miss the entire 2024
Oh, that's
season.
right, he is.
That's why
You
he
are
brought
correct.
Craig, which is what makes it even crazier.
Totally
They
forgot
said he's going to be the closer.
You're right.
He is
Never mind.
replacing Felix Bautista.
Forget everything that I just said for the last 30 seconds.
So they've been actively looking for a closer, a reliever, and they thought Craig was the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, look, on paper, you might get caught up in the All-Stars and some of the numbers, but clearly not looking at all the numbers, and you clearly didn't watch the NLCS, most importantly, that Craig Kimbrell now cemented himself as the highest paid free agent contract.
Josh Hader just went,
in winter
yes! Craig Kimbrell got $13 million. I'm going to get paid.
Oh, my. Yes.
Yeah.
Ching, 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 ching,
John
ching.
Sequela says, Kimbrell getting the raise is probably why the Phillies didn't sign a bullpen arm. And we'll get to the Orion comments because that all kind of ties into it. Yeah, maybe the bullpen market is just absurd now because every playoffs, it seems to come down to a team's bullpen. And you know who my bullpen is when it comes to getting tickets? Well, that's the Game Time app. Use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase because buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all of your favorite events like sports, music, comedy, and theaters near you. Mike Birbiglia is in town this weekend at Helium. I'd love to go see him. You could check out the Game Time app for stuff like that. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun you're going to have. I've used it twice already lately, been getting out a lot lately, and Game Time was awesome to use. They have a low price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and a lot of stuff that has your back. So you can get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you get there. The tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your emails. It's there in a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Just create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. While we're knocking out some of these holiday deals and bargains, I also want to tell you about Wheelhouse Cards, because if you've got somebody that loves gear or cards or anything, stop out to Wayne or Westchester and Wheelhouse Cards. It's our go-to sports gift and apparel shop in the Delaware Valley. It is awesome. Their motto is cards and community because a love of sports unites us all. They carry all your favorite card brands like Top Chrome Baseball and Mosaic Football, as well as some sweet gear from Mitchell & Ness, 47 brand, Junk Food, Starter, and one of my favorites, Shibe Vintage Sports. And if you're looking to get your sports card collection graded, well, Wheelhouse offers PSA grading submissions. And they also host a ton of different family-friendly events and birthday parties every single month. So stop into either of those 2 locations in Wayne or Westchester. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. and knock out some holiday shopping. Use code PHLY and get $10 off any purchase of $25 or more in store. Also, be sure to give them a follow on Instagram at Wheelhouse Cards. All right, as we wrap up the Phillies news and notes here, can we just take a second? What the hell was that yesterday, Jock Peterson? We were like on the griddle up here,
Like,
figuring out like his Instagram posts, and then Alex Coffey and Tim Kelly and Todd Zalecki all shooting it down, saying the Philly. What the
fake
hell?
Jeff Passan.
Yeah, what? So he needs to answer for his crimes. What the hell was that? That was ridiculous.
It was highway robbery of our time, our energy, our effort, our excitement. We will never get that precious time back.
You stole 45 minutes of my life yesterday, Jock
was
Peterson.
talking about the end of the world coming. Listen, that's valuable time we will never get back that we spent on this show. And instead of talking about, we had some great quotes and updates from Dave and Rob. We had some other things going on around winter meetings
in
and
Nashville,
rumors.
and we're like,
we had John. Yeah, we had John in Nashville ready to give us some
Tyler making
winter meeting
graphics.
updates. Tyler and everybody else was scrambling. It was literally the SpongeBob episode. I know Tyler's gonna get this. The SpongeBob episode of the mad scramble of SpongeBob's brain, which I know you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's fine. We were all scrambling like,
What's his name?
What's his name? We forgot his name. Jock Peterson. Yeah, it's
I'll take your word that it was funny. You both seemed to enjoy
funny.
the scene.
Honestly, one of my favorite SpongeBob scenes, I'm not going to lie. But more importantly, we will not get that time back. And what I love, though, Jamie, is when we were texting about it in our thread, because we have a PHLY Phillies thread, guys. We're so cool. And you were using Siri to text. Siri thought Jock Peterson was Jack Peterson. So Jock's not even a real name.
Yeah, you're forever
even Siri
Jack
doesn't recognize
Peterson
you.
to me now. I did think it was weird it was a lefty bat, but I still don't understand what that is. Somebody's got to get a hold of him. I'm gonna track you down, Jock, and make you come on here. And I want to know what the hell you were like. What were you doing yesterday where you're just like, let me just troll all of MLB and Phillies fans? Weird one. So
very, very weird. Very weird. But I know there were plenty of pieces that came out afterwards. Jock just wanted to see his name in the headlines. Of course, King Krabs, by the way, got the SpongeBob reference, without a doubt.
He says W. It must be a great scene. Everybody seems to love it.
Great scene. But Jock just wanted to see his name in the headlines because with all that's going on with winter meetings, he must have been having FOMO and felt like, I want to be talked about too. So as we have been having our PHLY Phillies show powered by Ford, where you can check out buyfordnow.com to test and drive the Ford nearest you, we had a huge interruption yesterday, and I will never, ever forgive Jock, especially if he doesn't end up with the Phillies.
No Ford F-150s for you, Jock.
No, you don't get to ride in a Ford.
You don't get those delicious, beautiful-looking trucks. You're out of here.
Kaboom.
Go answer for your crime.
Punch you out of here.
Yeah, all right. So before we get to Juan Soto and all that, the Rhys Hoskins update, it appears to me like he's going to be playing in Wrigley Field next year. The Cubs just kind of need to... I guess they still think they're in. They haven't been named as one of the Ohtani finalists. We'll get to that in a minute. But they believe they're in on Yamamoto. So, again, waiting on. Now that Soto's out of the way, the two big ones remain in Ohtani and Yamamoto. And Ohtani may have an answer by Sunday. But it appears our old friend Rhys Hoskins could be going out to Wrigley Field in Chicago. And that's kind of cool.
I'd be happy for him.
Yeah. There's a July 4th series next year out at Wrigley Field with the Phillies that I'm hoping maybe we can cook something up and I'll head out there because that would be cool. So we'll see what happens with Rhys Hoskins. Apparently they've discussed multi-year deals and single year deals. So something to keep an eye on there. Fangraphs. I know that Tyler uses Fangraphs as his homepage. He loves it. It's baseball nerd heaven. They came out with their projected 2024 wins for next season. And here is the order in which they have for most wins. They have the Atlanta Braves, to the surprise of probably not many, as the top team in baseball in terms of wins. Number 2, they have the Houston Astros. Number 3, not the Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays at number 3, which is interesting because they're trading away Glass now. They might lose Stevenson. They've been talking about a Rosarena. So interesting. I guess they're assuming the team stays put right now. Number 4, the Yankees. Number 5, the Blue Jays. And number 6, your Philadelphia Phillies. For 2024, most projected wins by Fangraphs. After the Phillies comes the Cardinals, the Twins, the Dodgers, the Orioles, Mariners, Rangers, Marlins, and Mets at 13, 14, and the Red Sox at 15. Tyler looks like he just smelled a bag of foul trash in there.
I think there's a couple of teams that really kind of like the order is just odd to me.
Cardinals?
The Cardinals are the one
ahead
that like
of the Orioles and Dodgers.
Listen, I think the Cardinals were historically bad, and everything that happened to them last year was like a snowball effect, and they're not as bad as last season indicated. But they don't have any pitching, and they went out and they signed the geriatric unit to be their starting rotation. So, like, I don't
Kyle
know.
Gibson's.
I think offensively they're going to be fine, but, like, their pitching is not all that good. And then there's a
No.
couple of teams that I think, like, the one in particular that I think was really disrespected on that list is where were the Cincinnati Reds?
Yeah.
Like 12th?
The list stopped at
14th?
15th.
Yeah.
They weren't
The
on there.
Reds were not in the top 15.
I think Cincinnati's going to be a nice team this year. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to make this insane push, but you saw last year when Ellie De La Cruz came up and they started to put some stuff together that they still need an arm. Don't get me wrong. I don't think guys like Hunter Green are
And I
top
think
end of the rotation.
They thought they
guys.
were in on Eduardo Rodriguez.
Right. They certainly still need an arm, but I think that, like, there's certain teams on the list that just they don't feel 100% right. I also think the Orioles, like, it may be natural the Orioles, because of their pitching, take a step back, but they won 100 and something games last year.
Yeah, Barbara Carroll in the chat says those rankings just seem wrong.
Yeah,
it does seem weird to me that the Orioles and Dodgers would be behind the Cardinals and Twins.
Well, I think the Dodgers specifically because their pitching is such a question mark. Because
who is their pitching right now?
It's a
And
lot
maybe
of
it's
it's a lot
based
of
on
young
that.
guys.
You know,
I
because
don't
it's
get
just
it.
the younger guys, and Kershaw is not Kershaw anymore, and Bueller's coming back this year. But still, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that came out.
Well, we got to roll through this because it's
Yeah.
already 12:37, Jamie, yet again.
Yeah.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Francis Romero, who tagged us in this tweet as we were coming into the show with the update that the Phillies have officially signed shortstop Denelson Aguila, who
Say that again?
Aguila.
I don't know what's right or wrong.
I don't either. But as my
Aguila.
I did minor in
Did
some
you?
Spanish, so I feel like my linguistics.
Well, then you
sometimes
would
are
get
pretty-
the benefit of the doubt over me.
Aguila, maybe Aguila.
Aguila.
I don't know. It's giving me with the accent on the A. It's giving me.
You would know better than me. I
Aguila.
was told by my high
Aguila
school.
is my guess. I
Stop
don't know.
taking
I don't know.
Spanish.
I
You
haven't
are
had a
not
chance
suited for
to
this
even
life.
check you? No, really?
Yeah, I do not
I
have
haven't
the
had a chance to
music
check
or
the
accent.
pronunciation, but I'm gonna go Aguila.
Well, I love
like
getting a
Aguilar
Cuban.
say. But anyways, he's a guy that he's Cuban born, and he signs in the current international period that ends on December 15th. So it's great to see some news like this, some tricklings in that are
Left
happening.
Cuba in 2021. Interesting, he left in the
Switch hitter
pandemic
with
year. He
defense
bounced.
arm above average and a good bat
Well,
speed.
I have no
Welcome, Denelson.
I have no course of action here other to fully emotionally commit to Cuban Denison Aguila becoming the future of the Philadelphia Phillies. I think this kid is amazing. I used to go down to Cuba and scout all of his games. I would watch every at bat and take feverish notes. I think this kid is a prodigy waiting to happen, and I'm really excited the Phillies got him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the correct pronunciation.
I know nothing about this kid, but he's 17 years old and he's Cuban born. So giddy up.
Aguila. That was close.
Aguila.
Aguila.
Well, anyway, Denison.
There you go, guys.
Denelson?
There you go. Denelson.
Denelson?
Yeah.
It's a great name. Kid
Great
sounds
name.
like a baseball player. I'm
Sounds
excited for him.
fantastic. You know what else sounds fantastic? Being able to shop at a great price. And you can do that at FOCO because FOCO is the leading manufacturer in all merchandise, apparel, bobbleheads, toys, collectibles. And over at FOCO, you can use code PHLY10 to be able to get 10% off of your purchase. Again, the code in my Vanna White is right there on the bottom of your screen. And you can use code PHLY10 to get 10% off. That way you can rock all your favorite players and be able to have some great merchandise at home, in the office, in the studio, or down at the ballpark. So it's wild how fast the time just ticks through and how we just move right along,
All right,
Jamie.
let's get to the Death
keep
Star.
flying through here.
Juan Soto is a Yankee. Yeah. The Yankees are back to being the Yankees. And apparently they still might be the favorites for Yamamoto. And if they do that, that is a wild offseason. For the 25 games they're going to play together, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Juan Soto poses a pretty good meat of the order. Now, my concern, if I'm a Yankees fan, Aaron Judge is too big to play center field. Tyler shakes his head no. I'm talking. You have him signed for the long term. I would be a little hesitant to play somebody that large. Center field might be the most grueling position on the diamond. Like you have to cover the gaps. You're running constantly. You're in on a lot of plays. I just don't know for a guy with an injury history. Like obviously you do it if you're the Yankees. You get Juan Soto. He's 25 years old. You get to pair him with that core. Your run production the last couple of years has sucked. So Juan Soto should help that. But, like, I don't know. Playing Aaron Judge in center field, Tyler, you disagree?
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's like
Mookie Betts and Bryce are moving out of the infield into less physically. You know, these guys with the long-term contracts, you have to worry about how they age with it. And now you're putting him into a more gruesome, well, not gruesome, but the harder position to play.
It's certainly a more difficult position, but like Aaron Judge has been, like, if you just look at the defensive WAR, he's been about an average defender in right field.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I think he may be a player that is a little bit better than his D-WAR numbers suggest in the outfield. And here's the thing. It's a much different position.
I just feel like he's going to get hurt.
It's a much different position in totality, but in Yankee Stadium specifically, where he's going to play half of his games, that's a short porch in right field. It's a little bit easier to manipulate and maneuver. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to be an elite, Johan Rojas level defender, but he's not bad. And I think that, yes, it's a more difficult position.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's that he can't play it. I just think from a physical wear and tear standpoint, he is a large man. And that's a tough position to play. But Juan Soto is a Yankee. Verdugo joins them as well. And they kind of remake themselves a little bit.
And you're probably, too, in a lot of these games, especially the games that you're going to be winning, at late stages of the game, you're probably going to be manipulating your outfield defense to get Trent Grisham in the game, because
Trent Grisham comes
he's
over.
A very good defender. He can't hit to save his life.
$10 million for Trent Grisham is just like a throw on.
So he's going to be your late game defensive upgrade, where you may probably move Judge back to right field and you figure something out with Soto, especially if the bat's not coming through. He's not. I think that he's not awful out there by any stretch of the imagination. He's a solid enough defender to make it happen.
Preserving his career in these long-term investments, because who knows, in a year from now, Aaron Judge might go, "Hey, New York Yankees, you owe me more money.
Oh,
I want an extension on the end of my 10-year deal."
Well, cool to be me and Dave. You guys are saying you're not too bothered by this Juan Soto move to the Yankees. You're not sure why. I mean, looking at the details
bothered by it,
the Yankees receive, of course, Juan Soto and Trent Grisham, and then the Padres receive a plethora of players.
Yeah.
And Michael King, Johnny Brito, Drew Thorpe, Randy Vasquez, and catcher Kyle Higashioka.
Oh, that's good work by you.
I thank you. So they get some top prospects in a number,
Yeah, Thorpe
13.
was somebody I think they were very, very high on.
Exactly.
King has been pretty effective in the major league level. Might be a middle relief guy. Could be a back end starter. I think like Jeff Passan and these experts that were writing it up. A lot of people like the return the Padres got because they got a wide range of arms.
They definitely did.
Like some guys like Thorpe could be, a number 3, and King could be a middle reliever or a number 4, number 5, and then they got some bullpen arms. So they kind of threw a wide net at pitching, and just took from the Yankees a lot of different types of arms. So
yeah, and for the Yankees, they've talked a lot about this, and they said in their quotes, they were saying how it was very clear from the beginning, everybody was on the same page. Brian Cashman and company all knew they were going to be aggressive in their pursuit of being able to bring in Juan Soto. Of course, we had heard at one point they were kind of at a stalemate and things were stalled, and then making sure they could lock in on who that was that the Padres going to be receiving in order to make sure that the trade would happen. And with that trade, of course, that's in addition to, as we talked about, picking up Alex Verdugo. So the Yankees have been very active in making some moves the last couple of days, which without a doubt also now impact someone like a Cody Bellinger, who at one point was rumored to potentially be going to the Yankees.
Well, he's not going there anymore.
He's not going there. Cody Bellinger is probably going elsewhere. I know there's some other teams that John Morosi and John Heyman have reported, the Cubs being one of them, of course, staying there. The Blue Jays, the Giants, the Mariners, all interested in Cody Bellinger. So with the Juan Soto trade, it now shakes things up a bit elsewhere with other moves. But we did see some other things that have happened throughout the course of the last 24 hours.
Old Eduardo Rodriguez signs with the team that knocked the Phillies out, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this is, he said one of the things that swayed him was the presentation that the Diamondbacks made to him and the ability to live somewhere year round and not have to go somewhere in the offseason. I was like, that's pretty interesting. I never even thought about that. But that is pretty appealing.
Honestly, Arizona, for the Diamondbacks specifically, have that draw that it's a more upscale.
Hey, we don't have winter. It doesn't suck here.
Well, I was gonna say, even in terms of the actual houses, like this area, for example, you get a lot of athletes in Philly that live in Jersey because you can live in an area like Morristown, or maybe you want to get a somewhere
Haddonfield.
down in Center City. If you're younger, you might have like a high rise that's expensive, but for the most part, where are you finding those mansions? It's in Jersey. Whereas for the Diamondbacks, they also have the ability to have you live a little bit closer as well. So that is something like other teams outside of, I'm gonna say we have it fortunate. You can have a city life, you can have suburban life in this area. Not every team has that.
Yeah, so he gets 4 years,
that
80
was
mil,
interesting. And also,
20 mil a year, and then you compare it to Taijuan Walker, and you go, ew.
I know.
Like similar money. I think Taijuan was what, 73, Tyler, over the 4 years?
Yeah, I think it was 72.
Yeah, 72 or 73,
Yeah.
and then Edrod gets 80, and it's like, well, I'd much rather have Eduardo Rodriguez than Taijuan Walker at that money. But
fortunately
hindsight,
for Rodriguez, the Diamondbacks were interested because the Red Sox did not really have as much interest in bringing him back. Once they had Yamamoto and Imanaga on the table, they were actually preferred to want to wait on them before trying to bring back Eduardo Rodriguez. So Rodriguez has a new home after playing with the Red Sox from 2015 and 2021. And now the Red Sox are looking elsewhere at some deals that they're looking to make. Someone that we've
by
been
the way, the
hearing more and
Diamondbacks have
more
a
of.
pretty nice pitching rotation. Now.
Yeah.
You
Very
have
much
Zach
so.
Allen, Merrill Kelly, then you have
Yeah.
Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, and I guess whoever you put in the fifth. Was it Tommy
Yeah.
Henry? So Diamondbacks, they improved.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Gurriel and who they bring back offensively, but the Diamondbacks got better yesterday, no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, some other names to keep an eye on. We've got Shota Imanaga, whose agent has said there are over 10 teams interested in acquiring him. He's not particular about the team's location, whether Japanese players are on the roster or not, but he's already met with a couple of teams online, allegedly. He's got a great stat record when you look at the fact that he's pitched in 159 innings, has a 2.66 ERA, a 1.019 whip. Very good talent that's definitely flown under the radar for some, but has also been receiving a lot of interest as well. We talked about Cody Bellinger. And then also with some deals that are done, the Mets have continued to just be that snake in the grass. They signed Michael Tonkin to a 1 year, $1 million contract. They're definitely one of the teams that we've been hearing a lot about around Yamamoto. So team owner Steve Cohen flew to meet Yamamoto in person in Japan. And then also the Mets are supposed to be having a meeting with Yamamoto on Monday. So the Yamamoto Mets seems to still be there, but you're feeling like they're not going to get him.
Yeah, I think they're gonna miss out.
The Yankees are meeting with Yamamoto on Monday.
Yeah, so the list.
Mets owner flew out to meet with him in Japan last week, and the Yankees are meeting with Yamamoto on Monday.
So the list of finalists for Yamamoto, according to some, is the Blue Jays, Dodgers, Giants, Mets, Yankees, and 2 mystery teams. Now, John Heyman today said that all the major market teams are in on Yamamoto. So, I mean, I don't think the Phillies are one of them unless they were making a major trade to get rid of money. But the 2 other big market clubs, you would think the Phillies, the Cubs, the Rangers, and that's basically it. So like probably 2 of those 3 teams are the mystery teams, but the Phillies could be a mystery team just in like PR and in that regard. I think he's going to end up going to the Yankees.
Well, one source, an anonymous source, because why not be anonymous, I guess, said that it's going to come down to the Mets and the Yankees because they're both needing and wanting him and being very aggressive. So I could see, we talked about him being in New York. I think it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah, him and Garrett Cole on that Yankee offense could really flip things around for the Yankees
I'm tired
in
of
a
the
big
Yankees
way.
doing so much. Relax, Yankees, relax.
And then Ohtani we could have by the weekend. Apparently those 4 teams are the Dodgers, Giants, Angels, and Blue Jays. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think the Angels feel good about it, though, because they've apparently aggressively, was the quote, I believe, from Morosi, is pursuing the starting pitcher trade and free agent market and have apparently called on Corbin Burns and Shane Bieber from Milwaukee and Cleveland. So the Angels must not feel great about Ohtani returning, so they're hitting that up. The other names out there on the trade market, Dylan Cease, apparently John Heyman was saying that market is cooled down, and he says this is probably the Yamamoto effect, which is smart. Makes a lot of sense from the White Sox standpoint. that they're going to wait until Yamamoto goes. And then the teams that don't get Yamamoto are going to be a little bit more desperate and maybe a little more willing to hop into the Dylan Cease market. So I think by the White Sox waiting, the price will only go up for Dylan Cease. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. And just some other news. The Yankees also apparently are allegedly interested in Jordan Hicks. That's been coming out. I've been hearing that saw that from a few New York specific sources. So don't know the totality of that. It wasn't our usual John, Jeff, our usual guys, but a lot of New York sources that are reporting that apparently Jordan Hicks. And then back to Ohtani, as you were mentioning, just for everybody to be on alert if you're still interested. I know some people have said they're over it. They don't really care about where Ohtani goes at this point.
I care
in the chat, but some are still on Ohtani watch like we are. It is Thursday. Of course, winter meetings have come to an end. And no, Ohtani is not signed yet, but allegedly, according to John Morosi and John Heyman, and
by
different
Sunday,
reports,
maybe.
we are going to see in the next few days. So this weekend, as you're mentioning, might be the time that we see Ohtani get locked in with wherever he's going to be playing next season. So that's exciting. I know the Dodgers did meet with him, even though they're not supposed to be telling, but the Dodgers did have a meeting with him. It's
shut up,
unclear
Shohei.
if the Cubs had a...
Oh, you got to be secret. Oh, stop it.
Relax. Leave Shohei alone. The Cubs were supposed to have a meeting. There were reports that the Cubs were not interested anymore with him, but then Cubs president of ops, Jed Hoyer, came back and said, no. We're still involved. We're still actively involved in pursuing Ohtani. So Shohei's privately working through this process, Jamie. Let it be
private.
And just let it go.
Oh, stop
let it go.
Just like, what needs to be private? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
We all do. But he doesn't want to have all the song and dance. I think
what song and dance?
So
he's going to go get his pitch from the teams regardless. If the public knows or not, who cares? Like, what are you protecting?
Because I just feel like he seems like a very private guy in general. Doesn't want all his business public. And I can tell you this from experience.
Then don't be a Major League Baseball
telling you this
player.
from experience. Shohei Ohtani he doesn't want to have to hear the whole all the noise. I mean, we're all talking about him, obviously.
The internet
but
isn't
different.
real. It's not real world.
I don't know what he wants to be private, okay?
Yeah,
I don't understand what's private because there's nothing private about the social media world that we live in. But I think he doesn't want teams to be able to go out there and be all like hoity-toity of like, look at us, we met with Shohei Ohtani, ha 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 ha, and you didn't.
Stupid.
It is. Whatever. I mean, you know what? You're irritated today, Jimmy.
I am irritated. I don't.
Bryce Harper's contract.
I don't want my negotiations
Boris,
to be public. Shut up! You're about to get $600 million. It can be as public as the people want it to be.
You don't feel bad for Shohei Ohtani is about to sign?
No, I think Dave Roberts was good. Good for Dave Roberts. Yes, we met with him. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm kind of irritated today at all these millionaires.
Clearly, all these millionaires have you really riled up. Listen,
but it's stupid.
Okay.
It's stupid, Shohei. I know you're a big fan of the show, so it's stupid. All right, process that. In NL East news, before we get to the stupid rock concert that's going to be going around, the Braves and Dodgers are apparently the teams that are showing interest in Tyler Glasnow. So that's not great news anytime the Braves come up on a good pitcher. And then the Nationals make a mid-tier, low-level signing with Nick Senzel, who was projected to be like one of the fast rising prospects a few years ago and never really, panned out. He's that kind of like versatile, can play infield, outfield, first, like maybe even can pitch in blowout games type of guy. So the Nationals sign him. Yeah,
and then Cincinnati made a move as well. The Reds looking to bring in Jeimer Candelario on a 3-year, $45 million deal plus a $15 million option for a 4th year. He did, of course, and still needs to get a physical. That was as of last night. So that's just pending physical and those last minute details to cross the T's and dot the I's before that move is made official. So, we're seeing the small little moves happening here and there. Of course, with Juan Soto kind of opened things up a little bit, but it's not until Shohei Ohtani eventually goes somewhere. I know Dave said he would put his coat on the mud for Shohei Ohtani. Well, Shohei Ohtani might be going somewhere.
He's going to the Dodgers.
And it
we all know it.
Should be happening this weekend.
We all know it. He's going to the Dodgers. Like, do I really see him going to Toronto and paying?
Toronto's cool.
Yeah, it is. And there's also, California taxes are real too, but the Canadian tax is real, and that's something that free agents consider. But you get free healthcare. So of this
list of the Dodgers, Blue Jays, Giants, okay, I'm not counting the Angels and the Cubs.
The Angels are done. He's not
you're
going to the
saying
Cubs.
Dodgers.
He's going to the Dodgers. They're going to take him around and say, hey, look at this cliffside mansion in Orange County you can live in for the next decade of your life. Your neighbors are Jay-Z and Beyonce and blah, blah, blah. Look at how gorgeous it is in California. Have you seen our weather? And he's going to go, oh, yeah, shit, I have $600 million to play with. I'm going to live here. Because every time
he could have multiple houses.
Every time you go to California, yeah, but like you get to live there. If you have all the money in the world, like outside of LA is like probably up there and like amongst the coolest places to live in the country.
You think so? I mean, he's already been out there and like he knows what it's about.
Anaheim's not the same. He's going to the Dodgers.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
So,
We'll be, I would love to see where we end up living
what's your take?
because
we'll do it tomorrow. Official submissions.
I have no idea.
Well, you have to.
I've been kept in the dark for where Shohei's going
he's
next
not answering
year.
your
He's
DMs.
not telling me. He hasn't.
All right, tomorrow we need your official take because it could happen this weekend of where Shohei's going.
All right. Well, you know what else you can take advantage of this weekend? That's a chance to go test drive a Ford because Ford is having the Make the Holiday Bright sales event that's now through January 2nd. Crazy enough, the new year will be here before you know it. So have an opportunity to go down to your local Ford store and take advantage of test driving. They've got a full lineup of vehicles, including the F-Series, the F-150, lots of great options there you can test drive. They've got class exclusive equipment. They have the best of the best. So you can choose between 6 engine types for your F-150 truck, like Power Boost and Eco Boost and V8 options and a hybrid option as well as an all-electric variant. So Ford has a lot of different makes in terms of what you can test drive. You can go now to tryouts for yourself, get behind the wheel, and see what it's like to be in a Ford. You can learn more about Ford's full lineup and Make the Holiday Bright sales event at buyfordnow.com and head over to your local Ford store for a test drive today. Let them know that we at PHLY sent you to go test drive a Ford.
Yeah, and we really appreciate Ford allowing us to have John Foley down in Nashville this week for the winter meetings.
Thank you, Ford.
John got some great experience and, networking there with old Topper and Dave Dombrowski and
Love
staff.
that.
So a lot of good stuff. And make sure you're checking out John's writing on allphly.com. Also on allphly.com right now, there's a discount on our Die Hard membership. It's down to $59.99 a year, down $20. So it's a great time for you if you've been considering becoming a Die Hard. For that, you get a discount right now on allphly.com. Head there, become a Die Hard. You get a free T-shirt with your membership. You get a sticker pack. You get an invite to our Discord community, which is basically direct access with all of us here on the Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, and Union shows. Everybody here at the company is a part of the Discord. You get discounts to our events. I'd love to do an event where we go to the Wrigley Field next year over July 4th, or maybe we go to the London series or spring training.
We will have some events
watch
that are outside
parties
of
and
Philly.
tailgates and all sorts of stuff. So you get discounts to that type of stuff as well. So if you've ever considered it and want to hop in, the Discord's a lot of fun, and there's a discount right now on the Die Hard. So hop into that. I can tell you, Renee, I have zero interest in doing a event next summer. I think it is July 23rd at Citizens Bank Park, where Major League Baseball made a marketing deal with the tour next summer that is Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band. I guess they're doing a Major League Baseball stadium concert tour, and all the teams last night on social media teased out this weird space satellite orbit video, and it was like coming tomorrow, and everybody was like, what's going on? And then they announced today that Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller Band are coming to Citizens Bank Park. I think Citizens Bank Park is a great place to see a concert. I usually see the Dead and Company there every year. I've seen some shows there in the past. Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller, I see they're really targeting their key demo, which is the boomer generation. Because the average age of a Major League viewer is like 57 or 58 years old. I have no interest in this concert. Are you going to be rocking at Citizens Bank Park on July 23rd?
No.
Tyler,
No.
are you going to be there on July 23rd?
Listen, I enjoy classic rock quite a bit. No interest in seeing this show at this point.
No?
1974? Sure, I'm 100%. I don't even know if Journey was playing in 74. I made that up.
Listen.
Steve Miller Band, I
Listen.
actually
Miller
hate.
Band was probably playing in 74.
I don't even-
1984, I'd still see it. Now, not happening.
I might have a wide range of music, but it does not include Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band. I will say I can't name you a song. I'm sorry, guys.
You could name one.
I might know it if I hear it. but
Rockin' Me. Is it Rockin' Me?
Sing it.
No, I'm not going to sing on the air.
Okay, talk
The
it.
Joker. Some people call me the Space Cowboy.
You
Is
would
that
know
why
that
they did
one.
the space thing? What I don't like is, as winter meetings are closing, we're waiting for the Juan Soto news, and all of a sudden, all the teams have this cryptic video go out. It was about 6 seconds long. I watched every second of that video over and over and over and over again, trying to analyze it. I put my detective hat on. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, is an alien coming? Are we getting a TV deal? Are we going to see maybe some rule changes?
No.
You know, the speculation was just swirling around in my head. And so I was thoroughly intrigued because I thought it was something, you know, as we're winter meetings, I'm like,
I mean, they're
okay, but why
big-name
would
bands.
every team be posting this? It's
'Cause they
clearly not a
paid.
trade. It's clearly not, you know, whatever. But you know what? Shame on you guys for capitalizing on the fact that we all have been so tuned in
It's good
to the
marketing,
Twitter
by the way.
world because of winter meetings that you capitalized and dropped the news about the tickets. Tickets do go on sale December 15th. For anybody that was curious, John Dickerson or anybody else in the chat, tickets are going on sale soon. But it's like you
Fly
took
like an
advantage of
eagle.
us. You knew we were waiting for big news. You knew that we were like on the edge of our seats. And then to say tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And by the way, I checked at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It did not go out right away at 10 o'clock. They were...
That's Def Leppard. That's not Steve Miller.
Yeah. You know this song.
You can't play that, by the way. You're going to get us...
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You're
Stop,
gonna
stop,
get us copyright
stop,
strikes.
stop.
Oh no, guys!
I didn't mean to do that.
Well, it's been real because we're gonna get banned from YouTube now that
Forgot.
JB just played music out
I
loud.
I forgot about that.
Wow! Oh, I do know that song.
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
Okay,
Every
my bad. Sorry,
college
guys.
bar
Sorry, guys.
and
Everyone's like,
party
"Oh my
and-
gosh, Renee doesn't know
So
that."
I actually saw Journey. Journey was a part of my first ever concert.
Now I'm
I went
excited.
To,
Maybe I'll go.
yeah, I went to the 1029
No.
Earth Day concert when I was in 7th grade with my cousin, who was like a year or two older than us.
Earth-
So yeah, they did MGK used to do an Earth Day concert. And it was Journey, Edgar Winter Group, and Edgar White.
Edgar Allan Poe.
No, not Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar
They
Winter
they
Group.
resurrected him from the dead.
Yeah, the Edgar Winter Group. That was my
He
first
read
concert.
the Raven in its full.
I love that, JB. I will say the most ridiculous thing, and you will just.
Yeah, I've
like
seen
you
Journey.
I was like Edgar Allan Poe. Oh no, not Edgar. Like doesn't even.
You know, the
feed
Edgar Allan
into-
Poe historic site is like 2
Oh,
blocks
here we
away
go
from
with
here.
with freaking cemeteries again.
Edgar Allan Poe is right on Spring Garden. He used to live before Baltimore. You know, they get all the credit for him with the Raven, but it's like 2 blocks away. It's on Spring Garden,
It doesn't take
and
much for me to feed it to JB. It's like
it's like 7th and Spring
look
Garden.
at
I
him
want to
go,
say.
Tyler, look at
But
him go.
yeah, Edgar Allan Poe used to right down the street. Old Edgar. So yeah.
Honestly, it just cracks me up every time because I did the same thing yesterday when I was like, Aranola, if I just blurt out the most absurd thing, you just take it and run with it.
Yeah,
You don't even like dismiss it or pay it any mind. And now we're on an Edgar Allan Poe
Yeah,
journey.
I have a vast knowledge of useless information. So like, you know, there's not many
but you
places.
didn't know not to play a song, and you actually moved your computer into the microphone.
I know. That was really dumb.
Guys, if for any reason we get banned, we're gonna be like Edgar Allan Poe out here. You're just not gonna hear from us anymore.
Yeah. All right,
it's because
Renee.
somebody decided to play a song
Let's
on
stop
YouTube.
talking about it and move on.
Nevermore quote the Jamie.
Yeah.
It's gonna get us kicked out.
I was Edgar Allan Poe one year for
No, you were not.
for Halloween. I have an Edgar Allan Poe mask, and
What?
because back where I lived in Pensport, one of our neighbors, this woman Mary, would throw an awesome block party, and it was a themed Halloween party. And I think one year the theme was literature. So I went as Edgar Allan Poe. I wore like an ascot and like this Edgar Allan Poe. I'll have to find the picture. I have it somewhere. And my wife dressed as like a raven. She dressed in all
Oh,
black.
this is adult you.
Adult Halloween party. Yeah, South Philly block
That
party.
was funny. I thought it was a kid version. Of
No,
you.
I wasn't dressing
I
up
would've
as Edgar
laughed so
Allan Poe as
hard.
a kid.
Dang it! I thought it was kid Jamie.
No,
and I was like,
adult.
what kind of kid were you that you were at a literature themed Halloween party? A little
Yeah.
different than my Halloween parties I was going to.
It was a Penn Sports Street party.
Oh, well,
All
that's
right,
not as
Renee.
fun. But it's still kind of funny, actually, that you dressed up as
I
Edgar
will.
Allan
I will
Poe.
find the picture because it's pretty funny.
Oh,
All
man.
right. So
Yeah, we're going to be on...
time for Renee to get tortured. It's my favorite time of the show. It is Guess That
I
Ballpark.
thought you were getting tortured with Edgar Allan Poe, and then
No,
man.
what's wrong with Edgar Allan Poe? A historic site for Philadelphia.
That's not something that you go like. Nobody's dressing up as Edgar Allan Poe for Halloween.
You're going to a literature-themed Halloween
Who goes
party.
to a literature-themed Halloween party, JB?
Mary threw a great party in Pensport. What was I supposed to do? Say no? She confronted me and was like, "You guys better come this year." And I was like, "Okay."
Did you have to bring books with you?
No, I just dressed up like with the mask. I was playing beer pong in the mask.
What?
Yeah, we had beer pong
I
going.
feel like that's okay.
It was a fun party.
We've had two totally different experiences in life.
You wouldn't go to your neighbor's block party if they invited you?
No, not for.
She was a very nice lady. We used to talk every day when I walked the dog.
Oh, is she an older lady?
Oh, yeah. She was probably in her late 60s, early 70s.
And you went to her Halloween party?
It was a block party. It was on the street.
Oh.
It's not like we were going. Her house
she just
was open.
organized it.
She organized it and the potluck and the tables and the decorations and all that. Good stuff.
Not really. It's not really what I, like I
It's
said, we
your
just have different
neighbor.
experiences. It's just totally different experiences.
That was my neighbor. I used to clean up the litter on the street. We talked to Mary every day.
Spiral Out brought up a good point. We brought this whole thing full circle. Edgar Allan Poe is the original emo.
He really is. So let's.
that's
This whole
great.
thing, an hour and 5 minutes, has been worthless.
Yeah, so let's get to Guess That Ballpark. Ooh.
Ooh, oh my gosh. I think I know it.
Wow,
I think I know it.
Renee coming out hot.
Because I remember this from yesterday.
Mm.
So just for the update for everybody who's curious, it is 7-3.
One of us has been cheating longer than the other. Wait, yesterday was Angel Stadium? Was that the one we went with?
No.
No,
was
yesterday was 2 days ago was Angel Stadium. Yesterday was
Orioles?
No, it wasn't Orioles.
No,
No,
it was
'cause I got it
yesterday
right.
was Oakland.
Oh, it was
Oh,
Oakland
Oakland.
because
It
it was
was
the
O.
football
It
field.
was
Yeah,
O.
yeah, yeah. Very sharp angles out there.
And I think one of these sharp angles are probably the definitive angle that you would want to take a
Final
look
answer.
at.
I'm ready.
No, don't do it.
Yep, Renee, your clock is gonna start. Final
no,
answer.
No.
Actually, I had it before Eugene Krabs.
I'm
for
not
the
looking at
record.
the chat.
All right, don't look. My answer is
I don't
the
wanna
high
hear it.
elevation of Coors Field at our sister station DNVR, Colorado Rockies.
Gosh, it's hard now because we've done a lot of these already. So I
know.
need to I wish I could.
Great American
somehow
Ballpark,
remove.
Cincinnati. Final answer. I can't.
All right,
That's
we've
gonna be the
done
last one now.
Yankee, We've done.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Coors Field,
No.
which is a really
We've
cool
done
stadium, by the way.
Tropicana.
And for those that hate downtown stadiums, I don't know why you would, but you can walk into Coors Field and just walk into downtown Denver. It's pretty awesome. And they have that cool bar in the top right field bleachers. Looks like a good time.
Oh, tell us more.
Yeah, no, I think Renee, it's time to start your 1 minute.
What else do they have there?
Siri, start a 1 minute
Why do you
countdown.
always talk to Siri?
It's the easiest way. I do this with my kids all the time.
Lazy.
If they don't want to do something, they'll say, "Can we have 2 minute timer?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure. All right, in 2 minutes, we're gonna do the thing you don't want to do." And then I'll just hit them with a little Siri timer.
What do they say next?
I don't know, Renee. You have about 45 seconds.
No! Oh my gosh. Oh,
Kind of looks like Fenway. Oh, we already did Fenway for the record, John.
I will
Sequela.
let you talk to the chat.
Yeah. Hypothetical man agrees.
All right,
Coors Field's a great spot. I got tickets for because the Rockies always suck.
We already did Comerica.
Yes, Spiral Out. I am very much pro new Sixers Stadium. That part of Market Street needs to be rehabbed in this city. Between Old City and Center City, it's so
busy already.
It's
My
Weirdoville.
gosh, it's hard.
Psychoville, and Finkel's the mayor. And I could take a one train stop selfishly. I can get on a train right at my house, be at the Sixers Stadium in no time. I'd never drive to a game again. You don't have to worry about DDs. I'm all in. All right, Renee.
No. Why do you always go with that? I hate that one because that's literally my phone, my wake up alarm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're saying you think it's Coors Field? Why do you think it's Coors Field?
Just what I think. Just like my opinion, man.
Okay.
You know what movie that's from?
No, tell me what movie that's from.
Well, Renee, we're gonna need a final answer before we reveal the movie.
I'm gonna go with. We haven't done the Marlins. Wait, let me double
Tyler
check
would
my
be
list. Oh crap, we already did them.
I thought we did.
No, damn it. That was my answer. Okay. Oh, no. I'm
All right,
scrambling.
Tyler, I think you're going to
Wait, give me like an additional
put the
bonus.
camera back on Renee so people can watch this torture. Please.
No, don't do that. I need to see the ballpark.
Let's one-shot Renee
I can't see
here.
the ballpark. Oh, did we do Minute Maid?
That ballpark's been up there for like 4 minutes now.
Did we do Minute Maid?
And John, 2 minutes is very generous, man. It's a 1 minute
I'm
timer.
sweating right now.
What are you talking about? 2 minutes? Who goes 2 minutes? You're crazy, John. 1 minute. There's a song about me. All right, Renee.
Okay.
1 minute.
I need to see the ballpark one more time to confirm my answer. Oh.
She's so nervous. Back to the one shot, Tyler. Back to the one shot. She's so nervous.
Just please pick one.
Go, Renee. Go.
There's like 12
Just
left.
say it.
There's like 12 left.
Yeah, hypothetical man said, Renee, pick one. I got to get my lunch. I agree. I'm hungry too. Pick one.
Okay. Wait. Did we do?
Oh God.
Did we do? No.
This
why
is
do I keep
insanity
picking
at
ones
this
that we already
point.
did?
I thought you had a list.
I do, but it's not like I have to cross-reference. I need extra time because I have to cross-reference my list with my guesses. It's
Final
a lot.
answer.
It's
Let's
a
go.
lot. It's a
Spit
lot.
it out.
I haven't done the Nationals yet. Wait, I didn't see the ball.
Oh my God.
Don't look at me, guys.
See, now everybody gets to see why I enjoy it so much because you torture yourself. This isn't real. It's much like the internet, Renee. I'm getting hungry.
Did we do Oracle Park?
Maybe that's why I'm so
Renee,
mad
we
at
have
all the
another show
millionaires
to do today.
I'm hangry.
I'm struggling.
Final
I got a
answer.
lot of work to do before the union show starts.
Okay,
Yeah, you got a union show to do. I got to eat. Let's
sorry.
go.
Okay. Did we do? I don't want to guess one that we already did because that's a waste. All right, I'm gonna go with
PNC. PNC.
I'm crying.
King Krabs throws a delay of game penalty at you.
I'm gonna
One
go
correct
PNC.
answer will be
Whatever, I'm
docked
gonna
from
go
your
PNC,
score.
guys. Whatever.
You're about to lose one of your
Jeez.
positive results.
Oh, wait. Did you
Just
hear
go.
the answer
What-
in the chat?
What did you? Yes.
I just
Yes.
I said PNC.
PNC part.
Okay,
all
it's
right.
Coors
Final
Field.
answer. Yay! I win. You stink. Ha ha. All that for a wrong answer, folks. Tisk, tisk,
I'm
tisk.
crying.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot
I
of.
can't say the same thing as you
Yeah.
because then you guys are gonna assume I'm just jumping on the bandwagon of whatever answer you and King Krabs and whoever else say.
Yeah. Well, we have to spend a special thanks because this PHLY Phillies show has been powered by Ford. Check out buyfordnow.com to find and test drive the Ford nearest you. They're beautiful trucks. You know all about them. Everybody's got one. Every time you see one on the road, you just go, damn, that's a good looking truck. I've always wanted a pickup truck.
Nah, I don't want to talk about trucks right now.
But you got trucked in Guess That Stadium today. Me and dude, Eugene Krabs is like, we almost have to like blur his answers because he's actually really good at this Guess That
Yeah,
Stadium.
why are you so good at this, King Krabs? What's your secret?
King Krabs. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. You know what? After this, I'm going to go back. I have my list of ones we already did. I'm going to make a list of ones we haven't done yet. So
There's not that many left. Tyler, do you know how many we have left now? 11 left? Great American Ballpark. So big thank you to Ford. Head to Buy
We have
Ford
10
Now
left.
to buyfordnow.com to find and test drive the Ford nearest you. Juan Soto's a Yankee. Ohtani better give us an answer soon. This is getting stupid. Bryce Harper and Scott Boras, chill out. Scott Boras, looking at you mostly. Don't bring sweet Bryce into this, you blood-sucking agent, you. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
before we go, I just want to say thank you guys for putting up with us, specifically me. I'll be better tomorrow.
It's going to be Great American Ballpark tomorrow.
I'll
or
be
one
better.
of these
I'm going to
days.
be ready, guys. I'm going to go prepare right now. Right now.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us here on the PHLY Phillies podcast. Make sure you're hitting that like button before you leave the chat. To everybody hanging out with us today, we appreciate your time as always. We love you. And don't forget about that Die Hard membership sale on allphly.com. You can get $20 off right now. It's basically a free t-shirt. So hop in our Discord and become a Die Hard. And again, thank you to Ford for presenting the winter meetings this week. Check out buyfordnow.com. We will be back tomorrow at noon. And apparently we have to start Guess That Ballpark about 15 minutes before the end of the show so we can actually get out on time for once. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.